All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Morning Cafe. It's Relationship Wednesday, and today's conversation, of course, goes beyond the surface. We're talking about men. Yes, what do men really want is the question you're asking today. So do they feel heard? Do they feel seen? And do they feel seriously taken seriously, you know, when they talk, wanna feel ni kama whatever they're saying is taken seriously. As always, we have a very big panel here in studio with us. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, thank you so much for braving the rains to be here this morning. As always, we welcome you to be part of this conversation on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and YouTube, and on X at TV47 News KE. My handle is at Ann_Did, and the question you're asking over there is, what do men really want? So interact with us. You can as well call in. There will be a number on your screen. We'll be happy to hear from you. Karibuni sana, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just start with you, Rex, now that you're closer to me. I don't know if we should generalize it as we start, or just start with Rex. What do you want as a man?
Okay, I feel like different men want a variety of things. The things ranges from financial reasons. You also have the means that society needs from you. You also have your personal needs, the things that you want. And in terms of relationships, I think that what men really want differs in that where you're brought up really affects what you need. And some people can be emotionally unavailable because they were brought up in homes whereby they're not really expressing themselves. So in that way, they can affect their relationships. In that, a person may not really open up to his partner. And, you know, a relationship, a good one, needs communication. And it needs communication among other things. And now, when a man really keeps stuff to himself, it really doesn't work out. Because, you know, when you're dating, you're not two in one as people really think you are. But you're timid.
Yes.
You're like timid. You do things together.
Yeah.
So when a man keeps stuff to himself, maybe the partner will feel bad or something, and it can really impair the relationship.
Now that brings us to this question, Rex, now that you're talking about sometimes men don't really open up, you know. But wewe kama Rex, do you feel heard? Do you feel seen in your relationships as a man?
I think in the modern society, we realize that the society is really against men, in that a man can be, let's say a man can be sexually assaulted or stolen from, and you go to a police station and you try to report something, and people are just like, oh, when you can do that. You know the mentality whereby people are saying, mwanaume ni jasho and stuff.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you can feel unheard, sometimes, but you have to keep trying. Yeah, you have to keep trying. Try as much as possible. As long as you're trying, it's gonna be better.
As long as you're trying, it's gonna be better. Yeah. I like that. Ledama, what do you as Ledama want? Speak for yourself.
As a man, there are a range of things that I may want in a relationship, and they are wide. You know, personally, as Ledama, I have a lot of things that I may want in a relationship, but it might differ with what other men want. But I can holistically say that the first thing that I as a man may need is respect. Is that you have to be respected by your partner, you know, for your relationship to be as good as you may want. I may also want somebody who has a very good communication. I mean, we can converse very well, and that person can bring out a very honest discussion about what might affect both of us in the relationship. I may also want somebody who is supportive, somebody who will help me to pursue my goals without any distractions. You know, I may also need somebody who will accept me the way I am. You know, it is one of the things that men find it hard when getting into relationships.
To be accepted.
To be accepted the way you are. You know, some of the ladies can come up with expectations that may be out of your reach. You know, making it really hard for you to flourish in a relationship, and you may end up breaking. So, as a man, I may really have time to look into those factors when looking for a partner, and I am pretty sure that if I find out of the 5 factors, if I find out 4 out of 5, I can easily get into that relationship, because I know whatever is remaining, we both of us can team up, and we focus on the other areas, making it easier for us to get into something that is long-term, something that is productive, and something that can bring good fruits.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about dating within your means? When you talk about some women, you know, they have high standards, or some women may give you expectations that maybe you cannot meet. So how about as men just dating within your means as compared to having women as trophies, you know? Somebody has a trophy wife, a trophy girlfriend. How about that?
That is also something that I will consider, because I don't have to fake something so that I impress a lady, you know. I have to accept myself first, the level that I am. After accepting is now, I have also to look for somebody who is not really far from where I am. You know, I don't have to do extraordinary things so that to impress somebody who might eventually come out to find that this thing is a fake one, and will eventually dump me. So to avoid or to avert such things, I have to really understand which particular level am I as Ledama, and what do I want, you know?
Yeah.
That is when I'll be able now to also look into the ladies' level, and I'll weigh, and I'll say that this person is fit for me, and this person is unfit for me.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to go a long way of doing things that may affect you either emotionally, physically, or so that you get into something that is will be destructive, you know. But even if you fake it and you get into that particular relationship, it won't last long either, because it will be, you are living in denial.
Yes.
You're living in denial in such a way that you don't want to accept who you are, and at the same time you want to have something that is out of your reach. So you will be dealing with 2 things that will be drawing you back, you know. So it will never be progressive at any given time, because you will be fighting a lot of battles within. So I personally, I have to accept who I am, so that it will be easier also for the other partner to accept Ledama the way he is, because somebody cannot accept a fake person.
You have to accept yourself first. Absolutely. Kevin, what do men really want? That is the question you're asking this morning.
That's a good question, but first I would like to start by debunking the current social myth, or rather misconception, that we men don't really know what we want. Today I'm here to firmly defend that we men, we know exactly what we want, without any doubt or fear of contradiction. We as men, we know what we want. In that sense, I could say that by we saying we know what we want, it is like saying, I could say that we knowing what we want is clear, is as clear as day and night, and it is clear such day and night, and plain as black and white. By this also, I want to take us into the proverbial woman. I think all of us know the proverbial woman who is stated in Proverbs 31 verse 10, kuendelea.
Yeah.
But before we get there, I think generally all men, we perceive love through respect. Through respect from a woman. That's how we perceive love. But also, I think we have a dictionary of how we should run these affairs. And we should have a reference, how we should be, what exactly we should expect from women. And as men, we also, from Ephesians 5, so I think this thing should be Proverbs 31, verse 10, versus the Ephesians 5, verse 21 to 33. And I think with your permission, you can allow me to refer some scriptures, maybe.
Of course.
Even from the phone.
And I'm also just trying to
from the Bible, not from the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get into Proverbs chapter... Proverbs chapter...
You say Ephesians 5.
Yeah, you can get to Ephesians 5 from 21 as I get to Proverbs 31 verse 10.
Of course, Ephesians is talking about submission, but we'll be getting deeper into that.
Yeah, so before we get to that, I want us to get first what we expect from women.
Okay.
Yeah. So from Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10, I'm reading from the Good News version for better clarity. It says that our word is to find a capable wife. She's worthy far more than jewels. Verse 11 states, as her husband puts his confidence in her, and he will never be poor. As long as she lives, she does him good and never harm. Verse 13 states, she keeps herself busy, making wool and linen. Verse 14, she brings home food from out of the way places as merchants ships do. Verse 15 also, I could like to put some stress there. She gets up before daylight, of which most of
But Kevin, if you're referring to Proverbs, if you're talking about Ephesians as well, we are looking at it from the marriage umbrella.
Marriage perspective.
Yes. But that also brings me to this question. If you want to perform husbandly duties and you want your woman to perform wifely duties, then are you creating space for that? Now that you're talking about what you as men want, you want a woman who can submit, and you want your woman to be the Proverbs 31 woman, but are you creating that space even in your dating era? Because we cannot, if you're now referring to the Bible, fornication is wrong,
Yeah.
Yes, if you're now making reference in the Bible. So we are doing so many things that if we were to stick to that, then we are really just missing the point. Are you creating space for women to be, the Proverbs 31 and the Ephesians 5?
Getting back to that question, I think it's so somehow unfortunate in our current generation that some, not all of us, some of the men are not creating that space, that atmosphere for women to submit. I think also this gets back to the economical status of we men, and I think currently women are more empowered than us, even in the economical realms. I think now it gets hard. The women have been empowered, but the boy child has been left out and not equipped to handle the modern women, the empowered women, so that they can be at bar and know how to handle the matters of relationship and marriage.
Okay.
And
all right. Just stick to that. Let's hear from Gladson. what do men really want from where you sit? The microphone is a bit too far from you. Maybe we can get one at the back. Ledama. Ladies, we're coming to you with that question, so just relax. Let's hear. Ledama, please pass the microphone to Gladson. We're coming to you, ladies. Let's just hear from the men what they really want so that we can see if we really know them that well. Gladson?
So first, good morning. Happy to be here again. So this topic is broad, and it's one of the things that women really want to hear about, because they always say that, yes, you don't know what women want, but also what do men want. So from inception, because maybe I love referring from the genesis of something, because before we now look at why we are here in the first place. So look at when Adam was created. One of the things that Adam was told is, be in control. Okay, you will dominate the fish, the birds, even everything. You'll be in control of everything, and that is one thing that Adam was not. It was not Adam's fault to have that trait. It was something that was made in him. So for a man from that day to now, what men want are actually three things, and one of them is just to be felt. To be felt, which means my presence in my house, in my workspace, among my other friends should be felt. Then number two, respect. This one is non-negotiable. Men love being respected because where there is respect, it means that my presence in that place is guaranteed and is welcomed. Then the last one is appreciated. Men love these three things. Appreciation. Men love being appreciated. And if in fact we thrive in appreciation. And I can say that this is this mirrors the man was created in God's image, because even God loves appreciation. When you appreciate him more, he does the blessings. So even a man, even the little effort that we put in whatever we do, for example, in showing you love, in fending for our families, in just protecting the people that we love, all these things. We want, for example, when I wake up, when I come back in the evening from work, I expect everyone in that house, not only my wife, even the kids, they say, Baba Karibu, thank you for always working so hard to make sure that we get school fees, we get food, we have a roof over our head, and such. When men have these three things, they can actually be tamed. That is the thing that people don't know. If you just give men these three things, they will always be thinking of jioni tafika saa ngapi niende kwa nyumba. Because they know there is something somewhere that is so special for them that awaits. So if you give, someone may ask, why am I not mentioning love in all these things? And I will be very categorical in saying this, that men don't value love. Love is just a byproduct of all of the three. If you, no matter how much you try to show me love, and you're not appreciating my effort, you're not making me to be seen, and you're not respecting me, then all of a sudden your love is just hot air. Yes. So if you really want to please a man, just let him have these three things, and once they have them, they are yours. They are yours for the taking. Yes.
All right. Let's hear from the ladies now. Sandra, what do you think men really want?
First of all, I'm very happy to be here. I cannot speak for the men, but this is what I assume, this is what they want. So first of all, it's men value respect and loyalty. That's what I think. Even the Bible itself, it says, men shall love their wives and wives shall respect their husbands. However, I don't want to be tied in the aspect of marriage alone, but in all relationships between men and women, I believe respect and loyalty is a very key thing. Number two, I believe that most men want peace from their partners. They don't want the relationship to be a battleground. In the current society, most men are not heard. They don't have safe spaces. Like for us women, it will be so easy for me to come to, for example, you, and share my problems with you. But for men, they are told, be strong, you should not show your weaknesses, because they'll be seen as weak. So you as the female partner, you are the one who is supposed to be there to be emotionally supportive. In terms of, we break it down to physical, mental aspects. So in terms of physical, certain men have certain types that they are attracted to. But however, I want to emphasize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. What one man might see beautiful might not be beautiful to another. So in the current space right now, we have, as he has said, women are empowered. We have women in careers, and some women have like a financial capacity that is above men. But however, when we come home, I know we talk about equity, 50-50 and balance, but however, 50-50 and equity, as how I view it, in the relationship has to be balanced in such that the woman is comfortable in what she has to do in her relationship aspect and what the man has to do. I'll give an example about appreciation. Currently, you have seen Diana and Bahati's, right? Diana was very appreciative of the Brabas, and you have seen Bahati doing a lot for her. There is the key element that I've been able to observe. She is very, very appreciative. Men also love being complimented. That will make them feel seen and heard. So the opposite of a man is masculine, a woman is feminine, right? So a man will want the opposite of himself. So meaning you can't be in a competitive struggle with him. That is number one. So I believe that most men would want a soft woman, but still bold enough to speak, not just a shy one, as in the traditional days. And finally, what I'd want to say, men want who they are. High-value men would go for high-value women.
Yeah.
If you will find there is a guy who likes joking, maybe he will like a woman who likes taking jokes. So just to encapsulate everything, men really want a lot, not just a lot, they have variety. I don't know about this, but I believe also men would like a woman who likes to cook. I don't know.
Who likes what?
Cooking.
Cooking.
The way to a man's heart is
food. Just hold on to that. Umeongea sana kama wakili, and we love to see it. We have a caller. Kelvin from Vihiga is on the line. Good morning, Kelvin.
Hello.
Hello. Good to hear from you. Talk to us.
Hello.
Hello, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Yes, talk to us. Kelvin? Kelvin? Okay. We lost him. But Sandra, you're talking about the way to a man's heart being food, appreciation. You know, from experience.
Okay, not from experience, but this is what I've heard around. Like most men will say, okay, you know, right now women are very empowered, right? So cooking is not like compulsory to them. So you will just hear them sliding, just say, I wish my woman knows how to cook. But it's not a compulsory thing. Yeah, and listening to most of the relationship mentors and advisors online, especially, is he called Zulu in Kenya? I don't recall his name. He was saying, even if you cannot cook for him, when food is served at the table, let's say, for example, it's already prepared by someone else, be active in serving and on the dining table. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay. Kelvin is still on the line. Let's see if we can get him now. Good morning, Kelvin.
Good morning.
Talk to us.
Hello.
Yes, Kelvin?
So what do men really want? They want to be, yani hawapende kushautiwa.
We can't hear you clearly, Kelvin.
Hello.
Yes.
Wanaume hawapendi kushautiwa.
Okay. Baby boys.
Wanapenda wakifanya kitu unawasifu.
Okay, wakifanya kitu unawasifu?
Hivyo ndio wanaume wanataka.
Okay. So you don't want women shouting at you?
Hello?
Hello, Kelvin, we can hear you.
Yeah, hivyo ndio wanaume wanataka.
All right. Thank you so much for calling us. We do appreciate you for that call. Men, you don't like being shouted at?
No, that's disrespect.
Let's hear from you, Kevin, before we take in Rhoda.
Yeah,
You don't like being shouted at?
No, that's most likely when you're in the public and your wife is shouting to you. I think that's the most embarrassing thing that a man can ever stomach. Yeah.
Ledama, women shout at you guys?
It's really hard to find a woman shouting at you. But if you find one, that is a sign of disrespect. I agree with Kevin that by the time a lady shouts at you, it shows a high level of disrespect and disregard. You know, this person is, I mean, she doesn't care who you are, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it in a perspective that a woman should submit, but I have a feeling that going into history, going into the biblical approach, a woman should be submissive. I mean, you have to listen to what your husband says.
Yes.
Whether you agree with it or not, but you have to accept to listen.
Yeah.
And you can always give your views that I disagree with this or I agree with it.
Yeah.
But shouting at you means that she no longer has any respect for you, and ultimately a man will feel disrespected, and he can even pull himself out of that. I'd also take that decision and say it can end from there, because there's no benefit in continuing the relationship that is very disrespectful.
All right. We have Shadrach from Athi River. Shadrach, good morning. Shadrach? Talk to us.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. I wanted to congratulate you.
Okay.
I'm
Shadrach?
fine.
Shadrach? Punguza volume ya TV, Shadrach.
And I love to say that woman knows men so well.
Okay.
The one who has spoken. And that is I wanted to congratulate you.
Shadrach? All right. We'll get him later on. But, you know, Gladson umekata, the way Ledama said that it's hard to find a woman shouting at you. Nimeona umekata sana.
Yeah, it's true. Why am I saying so? It's because talking from experience.
As always. We love it, though.
Yes, talking from experience, I was in one of these crazy relationships whereby it was more of a battlefield, whereby anything that you argue about, lazima ita end up in a place whereby everyone is hyper. You wanna shout, you wanna shout, you wanna shout, you wanna shout. And it's so annoying, because maybe in your heart, you feel like this is something that you can actually solve without shouting. You can just sit down and be cheki. Umefanya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 na mimi janifurahisha. So no, can you stop that? Yes, then I will be like, okay, by the way, this girl is reserved, anajua chenye anataka, and hata ukiangalia approach yake into all this inakuwa better. You know, human being plants also, they are reactive in any way depending on the situation. So if you come to me shouting, I will definitely go on the defensive mode. Junajua hapa there is danger. Anytime anything can happen. So it means automatically there will not be any type of conversation around. We ana shout, you ana shout. So for men, and that is ukiangalia, most men wenye hawaendi kwa nyumba mapema, ask them. The first thing itakuwa mimi siwezi enda kwa makelele. That's what one denominator for all men who go to their houses at 10, 11, 12. Anakuambia acha tuende kama wamelala, ndio ni sneak in. Baka nakwambia ni sneaking. Imagine sneaking into your own house that you're paying. Anaenda ndani because yeye hataki kuturn violent. Some decide afadhali enda kwa joint apige story na other men like him Wapige story tu kabisa, sahau all those troubles zinamongoja nyumbani. Then 3 unapata mwingine sasa in such situations anaamua kwenda kwa side chick. And side chick know how to pamper, by the way. They are professional pampers. They know. Like anakuonyesha, ana bring out the masculinity in you, ana bring out the man in you, anakuonyesha everything that wewe kama mwanaume ungekaa chini useme this is what I want from my wife. Exactly, without even reducing an inch of it. This is what I want.
All right, just hold on to that thought. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Anne.
Talk to us.
Yes, this is Stephen Gosera from Narok. Nimeona Sandra anaelewa sana wanaume. Amezungumza vizuri vile wanaume wanapenda. Unajua wanaume wanapenda respect. Wanaume wanapenda kuheshimiwa na mwanamke. Wanaume anapenda, a man loves to be cheered.
Okay.
Unaona mwanaume akitoka kwa nyumba kwa mfano, yeye ni kama anaendaga vita.
Okay.
Hustle, anaenda anakuwa demoralized na watu wengine kule nje. Na safe haven na mwanaume ni nyumbani. Akifika tena huko ni vita ingine, huko ni kama Kosovo ingine. Unaona mwanaume anapenda at least mtu mwenye anamuelewa. Hata kama amekuja hana kitu unampokea, kwa sababu kule nje ni kama vita amekuwa. So mwanaume anapenda tu kuheshimiwa, anapenda pia at least you appreciate the small things he does.
Okay.
So nafikiri wanawake wakijua hivyo, na ndio maana for example nipeane tu mfano. Unaona mwanaume anapopatana na kwa mfano mke mwingine wa nje.
Okay.
Wanajua kumshika mwanaume, akifika nyumbani anatolewa koti, anatolewa viatu, anapongezwa, hata kama hajakuja na kitu saa kesho. Atakuja akiwa amechangamka. So it's about respect, being understood, na mambo kama hayo. Asante sana.
Thank you so much for calling in. We do appreciate you for your feedback. Sandra, I knew the men would clap for you for that. Father Gladson, if he had a choice, I know he would. So he's talking about respect, of course, and appreciation and being understood. But now coming to you, Rhoda, what do you think men really want? You're a psychologist. From where you sit, what do you think men really want?
Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity. For starters, I feel like men are very simple, and they want very simple things, And just as they're saying that they want peace, they don't want kushautiwa, meaning that hawataki to drama. They don't want someone, who is sentimental. They don't want someone who is, doing whatever. Kurusha vitu, you are shouting, you are bringing all this drama. Men don't want that. So they want peace. Then men want freedom. They want freedom from the cultural expectation that has been set on them. They want freedom from, lazima ufanye hivi, lazima ufanye hivi. They want to express themselves. Men want to be, acha nikuwe mimi. Do you love for me? Do you love me for me? Or do you just love me for what I have? So they want that freedom to be themselves. They want that freedom to explore their passions. Not just because as a man, you should be having this kind of a job, you should be having this kind of money. They want to be, this is what I love to do, and allow me to do this. And then the elephant in their room, wanaume wanapenda pesa. They want to feel that they have the power to provide, either for their family, whether it's in their immediate family, or maybe where they come from, or even for themselves. Money plays a very big role in who a man is. And for him feeling stable, for him feeling he has the power. And there are also other men who attach their worth to the financial capability. As much as that is not right, it plays a very big role in their own mental health and in their wellness journey. And of course now men, they want now your money, they want to be respected. A man once and I feel disrespected, the first thing is, do I go or do I mask? Do I leave this relationship? Do I leave this environment? Hata kama ni job. And this man is feeling disrespected at work. you know, the first thing is, do I go or do I mask? And they can mask in drugs, they can mask in anger, you know, they can mask in so many other things. They can even mask in like in relationship, napata mtu ako abusive, not because ati anataka kukua abusive, but because they feel I need to, it's like I want to mark my territory. So unapata I'm a mask, but the real issue is I'm feeling disrespected by this particular lady, or I'm feeling disrespected by this particular child, or my boss, or whoever it is. So men really value respect as well.
When you say men are simple, you know, you could ask, because you know I've spent the whole morning asking men, what do you want? They say, I don't know what I want. I want a lot of things. So how simple are men? Because if they're telling you they don't know what they want, how simple are they?
I feel like they're simple in the sense that when you ask a man, what do you want? Like even as we asked them, they all knew what they want. Like a man wants this, a man wants this. Even the ones that called, they were like, mimi sipendi kushautiwa, mimi napenda kupikiwa, mimi napenda nini. Like they will outrightly tell you what they want, unlike women. You know, a lady can tell you, I want pizza. We let akwambie, I feel I don't want this. I want chicken. I feel I want this. You know, women are more emotional, and so they will express themselves emotionally. I'm feeling like this minute, the next minute I'm feeling something else. But for a man, they say, this is specifically what I want. And so it's that or nothing, you know. And if it's a lady, and as a mommy, I want a lady who is like this. And if they get a lady who is not like that, it becomes a challenge for them. Na kama akipata mwenye anataka, they end up being very good men. In the families, you also see the wives ama the girlfriends really thriving because the man is very supportive of that man. Kutoka mwanzo alikuwa anajua, me, this is what I want, na amepata mwenye anataka. And they end up driving themselves and also helping the lady also to thrive and their children as well.
Yeah. Rex, I would love to hear your views on men don't like to be shouted at, you know. Do you like it the Sandra Kababa style, ama how exactly do you guys like it?
Okay, I think men really love like women who treat them like their mom. See how we say that boys love their mom.
Just hold your microphone closer.
You see how we say that boys love their mom so much. So if someone treats you like your mom, when you go outside, they be like, umeenda wapi bila sweater and other stories. I think men really love that. And someone has talked about compliments. Compliments, I think men should really be complimented in what they're doing. After their haircut or something. Men are people who can like have like 10 compliments a year. Hata mimi moja ya January na nisikuma sahi. And also someone has said, talk about cooking. Yeah, if a woman knows how to cook, specifically chapatis, that's her way to the man's heart. But now, like everyone has talked about what men want, but now we haven't talked about what bars the man from achieving what they want.
So just hold on to that. We'll be coming back with that. What bars the men from expressing themselves, right? We're talking about what do men really want. Of course, interact with us on our socials, on Facebook and YouTube at TV47 Kenya, and on X at TV47 News KE. My handle is at Ann_Dida. Stay with us.
Older ladies, we gotta keep it together. If not, you're gonna die old.
It has been quite hard to find someone.
Love, by the way, si kitu ati inakuwaga na age.
I'm 47 years.
I'm 47.
I'm turning 41.
The ideal partner for my mom is a loyal one.
Sio mnono, sio mkonda.
Asikuwe na kipara ati azina cobalt.
Personally, mimi niko na tabia mzuri, naweza hotspot zangu kaa yeye hana.
My first impression when I saw Brian. You know, we know the Bryans.
I forgot your name. Remind me again.
Me, I work out to look good while naked.
How you want some kids with me, you got a set of twins out there that you're not fighting for.
The Chinchon Emperor has 11 sons, but the 8th prince died young. So there are exactly 10 princes together.
I have a plan for how to assign the girls, but there's still one left.
You don't want to?
Untie me right now! You're a bunch of... Let me go!
You don't understand.
Our Prince Shang. He has been through so much.
How dare you drink my tea?
This selection, there are many beauties from each state. It's a pity Princess Yuanxing of Sichuan didn't come. She's a beauty among beauties.
You're the boss. How can an employee let the boss sleep on the couch?
I don't think a boss would want to share a room with an employee.
Prevent brown sugar from hardening. Help brown sugar stay soft and scoopable. For a quick fix, microwave brown sugar next to a small glass of water. Easy peasy.
Welcome back. You're watching Morning Cafe. It's Relationship Wednesday. We're talking about what do men really want, and we have a very big panel in studio as well to talk about that. We have both men and women in studio. And before we went on that very short break, Rex, you were talking about what you as men want. But you know, you mentioned something that you would love a woman who treats you like, you know, your mom. So, you know, the question that most women usually ask, so are you looking for your mom in every relationship that you go to? You know, is it about mommy issues, or why exactly do you want your partner to treat you as your mom would treat you?
Okay, you've said mommy issues, but now I think that you know how your mom really cares about you, respects you. I know most of the mothers these days may not respect someone, or you may have issues with your parent, but 80% of the people, like the men, 80% of the men love their mom so much. So if you find a lady who can act like your mom, like just the same way as your mom respects you, cares for you, treats you, cooks for you, I think that's a plus. But yeah, the root of this is the peace of mind.
Okay.
A man really needs a peace of mind. Because if you have peace of mind, everything else will flow just the way you want. Yeah.
Let's hear from the ladies. Rhoda, when a man says he wants a woman who treats him the way his mother would, how does that make you feel when you hear that?
I feel that it may not be possible. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, the fact is, this person is not your mom. She has her own mom to start with. And she has a way that the mom treated her. And you have the way your mom treated you. And then you want her to come in and fill the shoes of your mom. It can be either, just as you said, it can be either mommy issues, whether the mom was present or the mom was absent. If the mom was absent, that's a whole other issue. But also we need to remember that this woman, this wife or this girlfriend is a partner. Is someone you are working alongside with, not someone you are anchoring your emotional well-being on. And if you expect that from a woman, it's really not going to work, and you're going to be frustrated because she will bring on her whole background, her whole whatever that she has on you. And maybe that's not what you have had, or that's not what you expected. And that is going to cause a lot of friction in the relationship. So I feel it will not be realistic to expect in a woman to be like a mom to you.
Sandra, treating a man the way his mom would treat him, how does that sit with you? Does it sit right? Ama unasikiaje when you hear that?
Personally, this is what I think. This is a relationship dynamic. As a woman, you are not supposed to mother him. I know right now he's saying, I want a woman who will treat me as my mother. But remember, mothers are very can I say disciplinative?
Yes.
Like she will be like, no, don't do like this. No, move here, move here. At the same time, men also want to feel like they are the ones who are leading. So mothering him, it's like you are controlling him. Do this, do this, do this. In the end, at the long run, like in a long-term period, they'll end up saying you are controlling. It will be very important to understand. I understand that most likely it's the emotional support, like the motherly emotional supports. Yes, it can be there, but do not, I'd recommend do not mother him. Because mothers do like this, no, this is wrong, this is right. No, understand that this is already an adult, he is grown, he can make his own decisions, he knows what is right and is wrong, he has conscience, right? You as the partner, the female partner, you can only tell, you can just tell him, by the way, what you are doing is right or maybe it's wrong, but not particularly mother him.
As a helper.
Yes, just be, you get it.
Just be there as a helper. You've given us a very good point, so let's hear from the men as well. Daktari Kevin.
Yes.
Do you people want women who treat you the way your mothers treat you?
Not as such, but I think there is a quote that I recently came across with, that men come from women, and at the end of the day, they finish going to the women.
With women.
So I think we need that resemblance of your mother to your women. You need to get that acceptance, that unafaa kufeel ni kama uko at the right place. You save, you secure, you know, you uko kwa space yenye unaweza share your ideas, your feelings, your emotions to a person who is a person you trust. I think that's the same thing ukiwa bado hujaoa, you can trust your mother with everything. Unaweza mwambia, as in your mama anaweza kuwa nakupigia, mna discuss, and she could like to know when una progress, how are you doing. Yeah, I think that should be carried, not entirely, but kunafaa kukuwa na replica kidogo, so that to an extent that you draw a win-win model with your partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rex, tukimaliza na wewe. I cut you short, sorry.
Okay, so I want to give some two illustrations about the men. The first one is I want to liken men as cars and the government. So for instance, you have a car and there is a driver. So I want to liken a man as the car and the woman as the driver. You know, when you are the driver, you are the one who knows where you want to go. And when you know where you want to go, you are the one who decides the things that you want to do to your car so that you can get where you want. First of the things that you do to your car is fueling. The same thing, you need to feed your man, the same thing, fueling him with the energy, the motivation, the inspiration, so that you can get where you aiming as an entity, as a family, as a couple. The other thing is you have to maintain your car. You know, you have to be careful with your car. If you just get careless with your car, you driving carelessly and erratically, your car at the end of the day you get dented and it will get old. Hata kama ni gari mpya itazeeka haraka. The second illustration is I want to liken the man as the government. You know, the government wants to be praised. I take your position. The same thing, men want to be praised, want to be respected. Wanataka kuambia wewe ndo mkuu, wewe ndo kiongozi, wewe ndo baba yao. But if it happens that you are the wife and unataka kukua opposition ukiwa kwa serikali, you know, that is going to wreak some havoc in your union. And I think that is going to create some suckers among your union, and the husband is going to kutafuta handshake kwingine. So I think those two illustrations really explains what men want, because men want to to be taken care of, they want to be praised, they want to be respected. As the same thing you could like to take care of your car. Hautaki gari yako iharibiwe ama juu you know the expenditure, the expense you are going to use to kurefurb gari yako.
All right.
Yeah.
Rex, finally tukimaliza na wewe for now. You talked about sometimes you want a woman who just knows how to cook and kupikia chapo. But what happens when she has everything but hajui kupika tu chapo peke yake? What happens?
Hapo kwa chapo naweza mfunza. Because me know how to cook chapo.
You can compromise in
I can cook really nice chapatis.
Okay.
So I can, bora she's willing to try. Yeah, even if it's the chuma ones, akipika zile chuma bado atamfunza tu bado.
All right, bora there's will to do it.
Yeah.
Interesting. But Gladson, you know, Rex also brought up something quite interesting. What bars men from now achieving what they want, you know, from just kutaka ile, whatever you want, you know, just getting it. What you want, you're talking about, you want peace, you want respect, you want appreciation. What bars you from getting that?
There are so many factors that can bar you from actually going for what you want, and one of them starts from where you're coming from. For example, when nilikuwa naongelea hapa in my opening remarks nikisema kwamba men want someone who pushes them. Anawaambia, thank you for always doing this for us. You see, so that's already some motivation for me to do more. If you're not even in marriage, maybe let's say in a friend cycle where you are maybe 4 friends, 5 friends, and you share ideas, then people wanakuambia, by the way, I love your way of doing things. Now with this, you're going to be a millionaire very soon because this idea is great, and the way you do things, you're so balanced in your way of thinking. You know, so when men have such people pushing them, they always become this creative, they become this innovative, they just want to push themselves. But the opposite when it happens, for example, leo umekuja na 100 kwa nyumba, then unapata kuna mtu anakuambia sasa hii 100 itanunua unga ama itanunua nini. So you are just a useless man. There is nothing good in you because real men out there provide. Mpaka unapata kuna mtu to an extent giving you an example, anakuambia Mary hapa kila siku bwana yake lazima akuja na nyama, mayai, yani lazima kuja na kitu. They give him mpaka examples. Mpaka wewe mwenyewe una feel kwamba yenyewe I'm very useless. So that is one. 2, kwenu unapata kwamba wanakuambia all your sisters na one of your brothers they are doing well. Kwani wewe nani alikuza? Are you really my son? Are you really my child and stuff? So unapata kwamba all these things zinafanya this man feel like, well, it looks like it's me against the world. So no one is seeing whatever I'm doing kama ni muhimu. It also means you start having this self-doubt ya kwamba whatever I am doing as a man is not enough. Then you even start questioning your ability as a man. Unaweza kujiuliza kwamba am I really a man? And why is it that no one is even noticing my effort? Kumaanisha kwamba if everyone is not noticing my effort, it means I'm doing the wrong thing. Alafu unapatanga saa zingine unapata the people that are appreciating you ni wale unaitaga jokers. People wale watu mtu akikwambia unakaa vizuri ana joke like ayuko serious, una feel like hapana jamaa kuna kitu.
Appreciation is appreciation.
Look, yes, kuna compliment. Someone tells you ati unakaa vile unataka. Unaget? That is an appreciation, but in deep down najaribu kukwambia mzee unakaa vibaya. Unaget? Like are you genuine? It's not genuine in the way of doing in their way of appreciation. So such things can even hinder a man. Then also the last one is the cultural norms. These are one of the things that is not to hinder so much because unapata mwanaume anajua as long as you are providing, as long as you are making your wife comfortable, don't mind about any other thing. Uko sawa, analala nje hapana, school fees inalipo hapana, anakula chakula yes, metosha. So don't overdo. Ukipita hapo msee una overdo bana, unatupea hata sisi pressure, tuna feel like no man. Unaget? So mwanaume ata stop being creative, ata stop being innovative just because of them mostly ni vitu ambazo zinampush. So if the push from behind is negative, it's not appreciative and it's not cognitive, then mwanaume hakuna kitu atawahi fanya. But as long as you're appreciating even the smallest of efforts, give this man 6 months. Kitu alikuwa anafanya 1 month ago, 6 months later, hata mwenyewe utaanza kusema wow, this is marvelous.
All right. Ledama, I'll ask you the same question. What bars you as Ledama or just as men in general from achieving what you want?
Basically, there are a lot of factors that can bar a man from achieving what he or she wants, what he wants, I mean. But coming into the relationship aspect, unstable relationships contribute largely to failures in a man. In a way that, I mean, every other time you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, you are in wrangles, you are never in agreement with anything. By the time you're going to work, by the time you're going to, whether you're in school, wherever you're going to, it will always have a negative impact on your ability to think, on your ability to work, on your ability to do something that is very constructive. So I like to, what my friend had just said is that every other time you get something negative from the background, whatever comes out of it will automatically be negative. So in every relationship, it's very crucial for a man to make sure that everything is working out, you know. He has to try all means to make sure that whatever is at the background, whatever is happening at the family level, has to be in line with what he wants eventually. So you'll have to sort out the issues. You have to take maybe a break and sort out the issues at the background so that you have a very peaceful way of doing things. You have a very free space. You don't have anything that is hindering you from the family level, so that you can now be able to deal with things that are at the work level independently. You know, I had not talked about the issue of the mom issue. I would like to disagree with Rex.
All right.
Because also the lady where she comes from, she also has a mom, you know, and the way her mom or the way your mom approach things may be a little bit different. So you coming into a relationship or a marriage, you have to integrate both, you know, and by integrating both from the lady's side and the man's side, you come up with something that is a little bit new, you know. So your relationship may not be exactly be the way your mom used to treat you or the way her mom used to treat her, you know. You'll be coming up with something that is new, and that is why you are not coming with the identities of your families. You know, you are coming to start, for Ledama, this is Ledama's family. It's not my mom's or her mom's. You know, we are coming with something that is new. So we have to go outside the normal boundaries that are there. For example, there are the cultural aspects. You know, we do not necessarily have to follow what the cultural aspects dictate about marriage or relationships. You know, we can modify it in a way so that it does not necessarily disregard the cultural aspect, but at the same time it brings something that is modern. You know, we are coming from something that is of the past. We are in this current situation, and we are also looking at the future. You know, if we continue with what the cultural practices say, how will it impact the future? You know, so it is something new that we are coming up with. We do not have to follow. There's no particular line that says that relationships or marriages have to be this way, have to be conducted this way. No, there's no a defined path that it has to take. We are coming up with something that it is both of us. You know? You bring in your ideas, I bring in my ideas. We come up with a new model. You know, and that is, maybe it can work, maybe it cannot work, because it's not a guarantee. You know, it's like an invention or business. You know, for you to start a business, you have to have the idea, you have to have the plan, and you have to execute it. By executing it, it doesn't necessarily mean that the business will succeed. You might start it today, tomorrow it fails. You know?
Yeah. So 50-50.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
You don't mean stand with Rex, by the way. I see you guys, I'm talking to stand now, Rex, but I stand with him. I get him.
Another issue that we are, I don't know, we are maybe skeptical about talking about it is the physical intimacy. You know? Okay. I have not heard anyone talk about it, but it's the reality. You know, in a relationship, men appreciate physical intimacy. You know, it's really weird, or it's bad for a man to be denied of the conjugal rights, you know. Yeah, so
conjugal is for married people, Ledama.
No, we are talking it. No, we are talking it about
this context. We are talking about.
You know, it's something that is there. You know, let's not shy away from the realities.
Okay.
It's something that is there. Men, whether they are married or not, I know it can go against the teachings of the Bible. It can go against the cultural practices, but it's something that is there. Men are appreciative of the physical intimacy, and it's majorly what drives men into relationships. It's really hard for a man to get into a relationship without thinking of that particular physical intimacy, you know.
Okay.
So it's the reality, so and we have to accept it the way it is, and that is the society that we live in. You know, we have to talk about it and accept it the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's get some feedback before, of course, we continue this conversation. Bagire Robert is saying we want peace and what you contribute on the table. You see, 2025, you're still having the conversation of what are you as a woman bringing to the table. Gladson, what do you want women to bring to the table? Apart from them being just submissive, you know, you're asking women, what are you bringing to the table?
Okay, this question, so many people want to monetize it, and I think it's not right. You know, when I ask you what you bring to the table, it's not about that nikileta unga unaleta nyama. No. You see, this discussion that we are having here, unaambia mtu, mimi, I don't have money. I can't quantify what I'm going to bring, but I'll definitely be your cheerleader. I'll be your support system. I'll be the peace that you need. I will respect you. I'll help you to take care of our kids. I'll help you to make our own kingdom here. I will shield you from maybe our enemies, naysayers. I'll be loyal and stuff. So it is a broad thing. However, sahi watu wameiweka kwamba ati when I ask you what do you bring to the table, nile Sandra needs to work, I need to work. Nikilipa nyumba, analipa water bills, analipa electricity bills. Reality of the situation ni hii. Men should, not will or whatever. It's a must. A man must be the provider. Must. You need to provide. The woman can only come in akiona, my man is really trying, na vitu zake bado haziko poa. She can come in akwambie, hey, my husband, wacha ni, na nimesema husband, sio boyfriend. Husband. If you want to be a boyfriend, just provide. Kama una pesa, tafuta pesa kwanza, utafute dem. So, for a man, unamwambia, for your husband, unamwambia, hey, nimeona you are trying, but I felt I can chip in hapa. Ukilipa nyumba na food, maybe I can help you hapa kwa electricity and water bills. Hizi niachie mimi, let me do them. Ama pia, occasionally you just come in with my groceries and stuff. You just lessen the burden of the man. But tukianza kusema kwamba a man is a provider, a woman is a provider, then definitely, technically, umesha raise two men in one house. You already have two men. So expect your woman to behave like a man. Juu pia yeye ana provide. So hapo ni kama mko kwa 50. Unaona kama ile wanaume wana cohabit. Mwanaume mnaishi wawili kwa nyumba moja. Huyu mwanaume anakuambia wewe msee umulie ile pande nyingine bwana. Ama mnaongea mnasema nataka kugeuka pia wewe geuka. You see? You talk because yeah, it happens because you are men. You are two men living in the same. So if you allow your woman to adopt the masculinity, to take part in what you are doing as a man, then definitely wakati ataanza kukuambia mimi nimechoka osha vyombo, be ready to do that. Because already ushaanza kumwambia how about you provide. Pia atakwambia na how about you become a woman kidogo kwa nyumba. Wacha tuanze kuosha vitu. And it happens, for example, when a man loses their job and the woman is not the provider. Nini na happening? Mama akirudi jioni, the woman, sorry for using mama. Your wife akirudi home, anapate vyombo ni chafu, the house is unkept. Ataanza kukuuliza, na sasa umeshinda tu the whole day ukikaa tu kwa TV, unaona? So ashaanza kuadopt ile kitu yenye wewe ulikuwa unafaa ufanye, because as a man na expect nikirudi nyumbani, if I have a housewife, na expect nyumba ni safi, everything is in order, junajua ameshinda hapo. So you see the danger. So when we are answering this question, it's important for us to not just quantify, tusiweke kwa pesa. Yes, money is important with love, because love na pesa zinaendana tu hivi, because so much expressions of love comes with money. But however, when we are answering this question, let us remove money out of the equation. Tuongelee vitu zingine like how can we even build one another? Because hata akikupea advices in your business, it is still part of what she brings to the table. So si lazima, anaweza kukupea 1 million, okay, ni sawa alafu. You see, but if she is your cheerleader and your peace, vitu zingine mwanaume anajifanyia mwenyewe. And before I forget, yes, we men want to be treated like the way their mother treats them. And it happen. Nivile two people don't want to accept. For example, number one, if I'm dating Sandra here, na imefika saa 4 usiku, lazima atanipigia niulize na by the way uko wapi? Are you coming home? So no, or it is raining, ulikumbuka baba umbrella, uko na jacket. Una get? So ni vitu wanafanyaga tu ile sasa. The problem is they wanafikirianga kwamba ati if I tell you to love me like my mom, wanaonanga ni kama ni kitu complex. But it's not complex. Ni vitu tu basic. Unaona kama kwa mfano, mimi wasema it's the bare minimum. As a woman, as a lady, as a wife, try to know how to cook chapatis. These things sway men. Leo wanaume wanapenda chapati. Sana ugali. Ugali ni ya culture. Wasemanga Luya love ugali. But hata kama haujui, just learn. Ukiona mwanaume anapenda chapati, deep down anajua kupika.
So the key is chapati. Chapati.
Kaini chini, akufunze even how to prepare it, how to roll it. Hata kama unapika map of Kenya, mtachekanga tu. Mtaikula tu ikiwa map of Kenya hivyo, but we are ultimately ataanza kukufunza how to do it. And once umeanza kutoa round hivi, wewe mwanaume mtakuwa unapika chapati daily kwa nyumba. But so at least when it comes to easy mambota, what you bring to the table ultimately, I will say that let us remove money, let us have a conversation whereby let us look at how will you help me emotionally, physically, and also in terms of growth as a person. Yeah.
All right, Dibdu is saying, what are women willing to offer? Rhoda, what are women willing to offer? When you hear that, what comes to mind?
So much. I mean, women are willing to offer so much. However, the word willing, it's you know, ish kidogo, because it's a matter of capability. Can this person bring this? Can this person provide this? There are women who are willing, like going back to the question of what do they bring on the table, there are women who are willing to provide. You know, and just because this woman is willing to provide does not mean that she is the primary provider, you know, but she is a secondary provider in this home. There are women who are willing to give that. Women are also willing to bring in children. I mean, so there are women that are going to be the one to bring in children, to raise the children and all of that. And so women are willing to bring in so much. They're willing to bring in the peace. You know, they are willing to bring in the understanding, the appreciation, the comments that you want to come home, chairman, today you did well, nini, nini. They are willing to do that. However, now it also depends on a case-to-case basis. How are you treating this woman? Because the way you treat her will automatically atajua kama ataku appreciate. Ama the unamtreat hata ukitoka, maybe if she's a housewife, did you leave anything at home? Are you present in your children's life? Ama umemwachia all that burden. Clearly, if you treat her like that, there's no way that she's going to appreciate you. There's no way she's going to support you. Na pia akifika mahali anaweza kuprovide, ama anaweza jitengeneza kitu yake, ataanza kuku put down just because when you had it, you didn't treat her right. So you need to treat her right so that she can also give you, there's so many things that a woman can give, because women can give so much.
Yes.
And the primary of it is peace. Women can give you so much peace. Lakini, iko na conditions your peace. Lazima treat vizuri. If you want chapos, it's not every day. You know, I mean, I don't know, in African culture, chapo ni kazi. You know, it depends na kwenye unalan, but chapo ni kazi. And if you expect that every day, assuming this lady is working, I come home, apike chapo, amepika stew, amepika all of these, and you are not helping. If you're helping, well and good. Maybe umemletea mtu anaweza msaidia, well and good. But if you just keep on unaitisha vitu from this lady, each and every time you're asking for things from this lady, you know, like even the way Ledama is saying about the physical intimacy and all of that, I know my parents are watching. So if you keep on demanding some of these things, and you are not pouring into this woman, then this relationship is not going to work well. And that man will be barred from expressing himself or from achieving what he needs to achieve, because at home hakuna amani. Lakini pia wewe utabeba hiyo amani uilete nyumbani ili upokee back. It's actually a give and take thing.
Yeah. Very well put. Joel Matza is saying men at early age from 18 to 28 want physical appearance, 28 to 40 want financial support, sounding minds, regardless of the physical appearance. And anasema 40 to 60 want only their children. I'm assuming hapa the range is 18 to 28. So do you agree, men, Rex, and I'll start with you, that mostly it's about physical appearance?
Physical appearance in terms of
whatever physical
a woman
appearance
looks
means
like.
to you, whatever the shape of the body,
I feel
the
like
face.
80% of the men who are between 18 to 25 or 22, they are targeted to how a woman looks like. You find someone saying, I love light skins, I love dark skins or melanin or chocolate. Yeah.
Okay. Ledama, where do you stand? Is it about the physical appearance or what exactly?
A man between the age of 18 to 22 is somebody who is not ready to settle. Somebody who is not ready to...
Put on your mic. Okay.
A man between the age of 18 to 22 is someone who is not ready to settle, somebody who is not ready to get into a long-term relationship, maybe for marriage, because it's your prime age. It's time to explore. So I'd agree with him that it's true that between the age of 18 to 22...
28.
28.
Yes.
28 is a little bit...
Mzee.
Mzee, because you know, by the age of 25, you should be talking about marriage. You should be talking about long-term relationships. So let me put my perspective into 18 to 23 maximum.
Okay.
They'd go for physical appearance because after all, they are in for a short-term thing. They are in for some crazy things, and it's also time to explore. It's understandable. You know, you are getting to learn. It's your time to learn.
Okay.
But in the process, if you find somebody whom you feel is very important to you, and you will not let her go, you'll probably go ahead with. But between the age of 24 to 28, I will not agree with him because by that age you're mature, you know what you want in life. Going into careers, a person in that age is somebody who is already into career. The majority of them are out of school. They are done with education. They are starting to know more about life, and they are trying to make ends meet, you know.
Okay.
So by that particular age, you should know what you want. Physical appearance should not be something
in the picture.
It should not be in the picture. It should be which kind of a woman do I want to stay with in life? Because by that time also your parents will start getting uneasy about you. Is our son somebody who will get a partner? Is our son somebody who is shy? You know, how can you assist him? You know, if you reach that age 28 and you have nobody in the picture, your parents are not seeing somebody you are talking to, they'll start getting worried. You know, is Ledama okay? I mean, what is not right? You know, they'll start bringing into small kamukunjis, asking you indirectly, like, you know, what's not happening, so that by the time you are in your 30s, you're starting your family. You know, by that time, career-wise, you will have progressed, and you are well off to start a family. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Sandra, you know, we're talking about society and culture a lot, but we've also talked about men being told to be men with society, you know, as they grow. But right now, do you think this space is giving men space and room, you know, to just be soft and open with their feelings, you know? We're in an era where we see things like toxic masculinity, wanaitwa simps pale, ex ama wapi. So do you think the society right now is giving them space and room for openness and just being vulnerable with their women, or we are still, you know, with the old culture?
I think, first of all, we need to address the elephant in the room. Most men growing up, considering about the past culture, they had to be told, you should be strong, don't tell women your problems, don't share your emotions with anyone, so mask it up. However, in the current society, I feel as a society we are trying to bring the emotional aspect of men by offering such shows. For example, here, Relationship Wednesdays, we are trying to bring it out and make sure men have safe spaces for them to be heard. As we speak currently, there are several groups that are trying to arise to assist men in speaking about their emotional troubles, right? But number two, also something that we should address, it's also the group that they are in. Sometimes this thing is influence. You will find a man buys, let's say, flowers for his girl and posts it on TikTok. And at the comment section, you will find fellow men, huyu ni sim. This one, you like begging for love, you see? So such that small appreciations zimekuwa kama like, it seems like you are begging for love, but it's not the case. What matters is the group that they are in. We see this thing called, I'll quote, mbogi, like it will determine a lot. So if you do something and then the mbogi says something, you know, even if we are so grown right now, there is still the underlying peer pressure. I feel that also contributes to that toxic masculinity. But however, I'm very happy that in the current society, a lot of groups are being formed in churches, in political areas where men come together and talk. They go for nyamachoma eatings and they just share their problems. So at this point, one says, you know, I have this problem, the other, oh, so I'm not the only one who is going through the same. But however, we need to make sure, I feel like you won't find a woman calling another man a simp. It's very hard. It's another man who will call another man a simp. So I feel like this issue of toxic masculinity, they should really come together and address it themselves, you see? Yeah.
Let's hear from them. Kevin, do you feel like society right now is giving you now space or room to just be soft and open with your feelings?
In the current dispensation, the society has not been able to accommodate the boy child. And this has led to raising up men who are weak economically, emotionally, and even morally. This has led to I think even the rate of marriages right now are just declining. Actually, over the Easter holidays, I was privileged to be among the subcommittee who was tasked to look why. Right now, I'm a devout member of the Eden Springs SDA Church Utawala, and there was a concern within our church through the pastor why there are so many youths even who are ripe and at the ripe age of marrying, but they don't want to marry. That's from the men. And so from the findings, I can say that we culminated to the point that right now women have been more empowered and they have been capacitated to a certain level that we the men, we don't have a say in the women's realms and the space. You know, we as men, we want to be authoritative, somehow authoritative. We want to be heard. We want to read. But when you find that a man is unable to provide, is incapacitated economically or financially, it gets somehow tough to guide from the front, to get the read. And this has led to even raw marriage rates, and hata ukiingia kwa ndoa inafika inakwama. Because hakuna venye utaanza kuambia mtu ana earn more kukushinda how to do things. You know, again the other thing is wasichana wamezoea maisha soft even from the parents.
Yes.
So to give an illustration, right now, if tuseme my sister picks a phone and aanze kuomba pesa, tuseme ni 1K for instance, she is more likely to raise even more than that 1K than I can take a phone right now, even to start asking the money from my parents. It can take maybe a little longer, ama anaweza kosa kupata hiyo pesa. I think we men also we have become our own enemies as nani amesema we tumezoea kurebo other men, ukipata mwanaume anajituma unaanza kumwambia hapana, you are setting the bar too high for us to ukifanya hivi hata sisi tutaambiwa tuanze kucheza hivyo. So I think that also we have become our own enemies. We don't want to lift other men. Unapata msee ako mahali anaweza saidia other men, but instead maybe he wants to saidia the women maybe for other things, maybe sexually. Yeah. So I think this has brought men too low even to cope up in the society in terms of marriage. And so I think the society is raising weak men currently who are unable to deal with empowered women, and this has incapacitated the men to deal with capacitated women.
All right. Do you feel safe being vulnerable with women, Ledama?
I don't feel safe because, I mean, as a man, I have to take my position as the head of the family. In a relationship, it's the man who calls the shots. It's really hard for a man to be safe if you feel vulnerable to a lady.
And why is that the case?
Especially if it's about the cash. If your lady is earning more than you, it's a little bit tricky for a man. So you have to devise ways to be ahead. You either have to invest, you have to do everything possible it takes for you to be ahead of your lady. I cannot call it a competition, but it's necessary for you as the primary provider to be stable and to be ahead of your partner, so that you may not have the unnecessary wrangles. Because for a lady, ukipata dem anapata pesa mingi kukuliko, kutakuwa na challenges. Kutakuwa na ile challenges, ile kidogo uko nayo, the lady still wants you to provide. Ile mingi yako nayo, ataanza kusema ni yangu. Pia kuna maybe wazazi wake, so for a man, it will be prudent for you to really work hard to make sure that your family is okay and your relationship is stable, and for you not to be to feel vulnerable to a lady.
All right. Yeah. Rex, how about you? Do you feel safe being vulnerable with the women?
Maybe you can be vulnerable as a boyfriend, but as a husband.
Yes.
Because you've heard someone say that as a man, you're the provider. So I believe you have to be the man of your dreams first. Before you become the man of her dreams. You get?
Hold your microphone well.
You have to be the man of your dreams before you become the man of her dreams. So that you can provide everything. Yeah.
But you're talking about it should be easy to be vulnerable with a boyfriend. A boyfriend is not long term, so I think you should be vulnerable with your wife.
Exactly. You can be.
Are you?
Because that's your wife. That's your soulmate.
All right. Let's get more feedback here. We Najita, man of God, anasema women who don't ask questions. Remember the question you're asking is, what do men really want? And he's saying women who don't ask questions. Gladson, you don't want women asking you questions.
I think that man of God is not, okay. Maybe that's just a name.
He's not a man of God.
Let's just assume it's a name. Anyway, how will you live in a world where there are no questions? That's more of a mirage. Okay. We will have women who ask questions, but we don't like women who we don't like how they ask the questions. That should be maybe the issue. Because wezi niambia, umetoka wapi? You see, that's, okay, it's a question, but the tone. We already, kuna kitu nataka kusikia from me. So even if I explain aje, there is a person who will tuambia, imagine in Kenyan context, Jonah amepotea for 3 days, anakuja kwambia bibi yake nilikuwa ndani ya fish. How will that woman behave? How will she believe that? So how you ask those questions is very important. So we love being asked questions, but in a polite way. For example, my husband, saini saa 5 jameni, hata uogopi nje, umetoka wapi? Akueleze, probably ni traffic, the car broke down. Maybe alikuwa anajaribu kukimbia wezi. They were trying to kumfuata. So amemanuva, akaingia, akapitia police station, akakaa huko hiyo mpaka until apate escort ya kumpeleka home. So there are so many factors zinaweza fanya mtu achelewe kukuja home. So how you ask that question will determine the answer that you'll get. So we love questions, but we just don't like how they are asked, because some ladies, women, wife, they have a direction of asking questions yenye kidogo ukikaivu unasema tu you already asha declare war. So no matter what I say here, it's already leading to war. So wacha tu nikwe the defensive.
Just hold on to that, Gladson. We have Elias on call. Elias, good morning.
Morning.
Talk to us.
Yes.
Yes.
Napika kutoka Meru.
Okay.
Niko na maoni.
Okay.
Yes. Maoni yangu ni?
Yes.
Unajua wanaume, mi naona hiyo kipindi, na wanaume vile wanatakiwa, unajua kijana kama anapata msichana anapenda, amwambie vile kwanza ni kumuongelesha kabla ya waende nyumbani, vile angependa yeye wakae na yeye kwake nyumbani.
Okay.
Mimi nataka tukae hivi, amwambie nataka hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. Ile kitu yeye anapenda kwa roho yake, ama ile maisha yeye anapanga. Unajua mtu akiwa mkubwa kutoka miaka 18, akiona kama anakaribia kwa ndoa, kuna anaona bibi mzuri yako hivi, bibi mzuri yako hivi, anaambia kijana, mimi tukiishi na wewe ningependa tukae hivi, usifanye hivi, usinipigie makelele, usionengeleshe bibaya. Alafu akimwambia hivyo, hata yeye anapea msichana nafasi ya kumuongelesha, wewe ni nini, kama ni ungependa mimi na mimi yani amwambie hata wewe niambie ile makosa naweza kufanyia kama kwa ndoa. Amwambie hata wewe nielezea ile kitu naweza fanya kibaya, usisikie vizuri, usikie mbaya. Na shida nyingine, unajua kuoa, watu wasipopangana mapema, hapo makosa inakuanga. Lazima mpangane, mtu akuelewe. Na kama wewe ni kijana, sababu vijana ndio wanatafuta wasichana sana, ukimuongelesha vile unataka muishi, na yeye pia umpe nafasi ya kukuambia vile angependa yeye mkae.
Okay.
Alafu mna shoti nini yenu, mashida ile iko kwa nini kwa ndoa, kabla ya mchapatana ama kabla ya mchakaa. Hiyo ndio maoni yangu.
Asante sana Elias.
Ndio.
Elias, and you have something to say about it, Kevin?
Yes.
All right.
I think, as my sister has said earlier, you know, men are so easy to deal with. Yeah. I think we like questions, but the way they are being asked is the way that we don't like. The intonation, the emotions, and whatever. I think I want to tell women that if you want to overpower your man, just be humble, just know how to employ reverse psychology. Let's say mwanaume hajafika kwa nyumba, maybe it is getting late, maybe amezoea kuingia 8, 9, and it is 11 na hajaingia. Mpigie mwambie, unajua siku hizi nimesikia mambo ya carjacking imekuwa on the rise. You know, I'm fearing maybe mali uko wapi, maybe kama unaweza kuwa umepatana na, know how to trick and coin the how to corner your man in a, unakuwa tu mjanja, ujanja werefu. So as in, yeah, on that way I think you could be able to manhandle your man properly and hata kushinda.
Manhandle. Or just handle.
Yeah, as in you handle in a reverse psychology manner. As in yeah.
Sawa. We have some feedback here. Anasema kwamba note, men and babies are the same. There's no standard to handling men. How you handle him must be different depending on situations. When tired, bored, happy, normal, it's all different. However, there are constants to men. Let's hear the constants. Anasema conjugal activities must be on sport. Ledama is happy kwa sababu alikuwa mention that food must be worth skipping the office or kibanda food. Tone during conversation, what you're talking about. Anasema she's allowed to shout and physically fight when it comes to happy stuffs. And during playing, however, when things turn sour, she should be close to silent, project her ideas carefully and with tender tone, okay? Act as a mother, wife, and daughter in different contexts. I know, Rex hadi amesema true. Beyond the stereotypical portrayals, what many men truly desire is a sense of competence and respect in the world. Anasema coupled with genuine connection and vulnerability in their personal lives, they often seek to feel capable and valued for their contributions, whether in their work, their passions, or their relationships. Simultaneously, there's a deep-seated yearning for authentic bonds where they can share the need to be constantly strong and instead be seen, understood, and accepted for who they are, flaws and all. This often involves a desire for partners and friends with whom they can share their inner thoughts and feelings without judgment, and of course fostering a sense of true intimacy and belonging. Hello, I'm Kamau. Imagine it's very important for a man to be more financially stable than his wife. Kama hauna kitu, hauna sauti. But the question, let's get some feedback before we close this conversation with a parting shot. Kukuku anasema, I told you men just want you around as in vicinity, but they don't like you. So you don't like women. Okay. Amoti anasema, to be men. And that men is in capital letters. Uyu anasema, to quench their thirst and move on to another thing. Ayesiga anasema, men want everything that satisfies the flesh. It's a spiritual weakness, while women are that weakness. Charles anasema, peace of mind, that is all. So women should know what brings peace in the house. The issue is we go to boarding with imaginations of those we want, but not with those we have, because someone out there have you as his imagination. So you imagine how the woman you want to be with, lakini sio that woman. You have someone, but you don't want to be with that someone. Sandra.
Okay, this is what I'd say. From when you are beginning the relationship or when you are determining the partner that you want to be with, at the beginning, both of you, the man and the woman, you have options, right? And it is the most important time and the crucial time to realize what are this person's interests, what are this person's interests, right? If you are not compatible with that partner, it's better you do not waste time and just tell them, sorry, but we do not align. And another thing that I'd like to tell the ladies, because sometimes you never know, some men are there for the physical aspect while others are not. Others have genuine intentions while others are not. Do not be willing to invest in the relationship until there is an upscale rise on the graph. For me, I like to assume, sometimes I like to treat relationships as businesses. How would you treat a business? Don't be willing to invest more until you know there is a return. So you will find, like in the earlier stages of the relationship, the man is trying to chase you, everything is going on well, and then they slowly reduce. So the lady is like, what's happening? So you end up chasing after. Sometimes this thing becomes like a mental tactic that they use. So you find the lady is already so dependent on the man, she wants to keep chasing. But the most important thing I'll tell the ladies, do not stop what you are doing before. Keep chasing your dreams, work on yourself, look good, do your work, and also be there for him in case. And it's the most important part. If you're not ready to be in a relationship, because a relationship will require a lot from you, it's a give and take. So if you are not ready as a lady or the man, just don't get into it. And then I've heard that men just want to be men. There is a man who has said they don't want to be asked questions. Yes, in the society we have different types of men, right? I feel like at a certain point, it is lack of accountability. Maybe you have done something wrong and you don't want that issue to be addressed, yeah? You don't want to be asked a question about it. So you want to feel evasive from it. However, it's not in all contexts, right?
Yes.
There is another one I've heard, men want to satisfy the flesh and then just move to the next one. That's why it is important, as the lady as yourself, to filter out all that. Give time, give time, give time, give time. Probably just listen to what this person will say. Trust you me, within just 2 weeks, you'll already know what's the intention of this man. This man wants maybe a long-term relationship, yeah? This one is just after something else. So that way, you'll be able to distinguish. Don't be carried away by the term called love. Love develops. Even in the traditional times, people the parents were selecting their partners. For example, my grandparents, they were matched.
Yeah.
And love came to develop. I believe love is always a byproduct, and it's a factor that makes us want to reproduce more. So love should not drive you as the first aspect. You should check, is this person emotionally mature? Will this person be there in case things go haywire? And also in terms of love, something else that I've noticed, right nowadays, you want to love only the good side of the person. Yeah. You don't understand this person also has bad days. For example, the lady, yeah? I've heard like after giving birth in most relationships, the men leave. This woman, after they give birth, their body changes, right? So you only loved her when she was in a good condition. When she is in a bad condition for you to take care of her, you see her like, this one, no. This is not
working.
This one, this is not the lady I chose. This one, maybe the lady has gained weight, you are like, no. But now, if it is love, love is loving both sides, the good and the bad days.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Time is up. That was Sandra Kenya. We have Rhoda Kariuki, Rex Kipto, Gladstone Obwamu, Ledama Meshak, and of course, Dr. Kevin Nyangwachi. Thank you so much for making time once again to be here for this conversation. And of course, thank you so much for being part of it, for your feedback, for calling, and we do appreciate you for taking part. That brings us to the end of this conversation and to the end of the show today. Good morning. My name is Anne Odida. See you tomorrow.